Your credit card statement arrives. Balance, $5,000. Minimum payment due, $141. That number feels manageable, almost responsible. So you pay it, every month, on time, never missing once. 19 years later, you have paid $13,100 on a $5,000 balance. And here is the detail that should genuinely bother you. That minimum payment was never designed to get you out of debt quickly. It was mathematically engineered to keep you in debt for as long as legally possible, while you feel like you're handling it responsibly the entire time. Today, we're going to break down exactly how that formula works, the real math behind why it traps people for decades, and the specific moves that let you escape it, starting with your very next payment. Here's why this catches so many people off guard. The minimum payment box on your statement looks like a safety net, a worst-case option for a tight month. Pay this, and you're technically fine. And in one narrow sense, that's true. Paying the minimum on time protects your payment history, which is 35% of your credit score. But here's what that same box doesn't tell you. The average American credit card balance carrying interest right now sits around $6,500 at an average APR of 24.5%. At minimum payments only, that exact balance takes over 27 years to pay off and costs over $14,000 in interest alone, nearly triple the original debt. This isn't a rare worst-case scenario. This is what happens to the median American credit card balance on the median American credit card, making only the payment the bank asks for. Most card issuers use one of two methods. Method 1, a flat percentage of your balance, typically 1 to 3%, whichever is higher than a fixed floor, usually around $25. Method 2, that month's accrued interest plus 1% of your principal. Let's use real numbers. $5,000 at 22% APR. Monthly interest on that balance is about $91.67. Add 1% of principal, $50. Your minimum payment, $141.67. Notice what just happened. $92 of that payment went to interest. Only $50 touched the actual debt you owe. Remember that $13,100 total from the beginning of this video? Here's the mechanism behind it. As your balance slowly drops, your minimum payment drops too, because it's calculated as a percentage of a shrinking number. Lower balance means lower minimum. Lower minimum means less goes to principal each month. Less principal paid down means the balance shrinks even more slowly. The system feeds on itself. It feels like progress because the required number on your statement keeps getting smaller. It is actually the opposite of progress. It's the trap tightening. Card issuers set minimum payments deliberately low. The Card Act of 2009 actually requires issuers to disclose, right on your statement, how long it would take to pay balance at minimum payments only, and the total interest you'd pay doing it. That disclosure box exists precisely because regulators recognized how dangerous this default setting is. And yet, most people never read it, because the minimum payment number itself feels like the responsible choice, not a warning label. Here's the part that makes this worse than it already sounds. Paying only the minimum keeps your balance high relative to your credit limit. A $5,000 balance on a $10,000 limit is 50% utilization. Utilization is 30% of your FICO score. Most scoring guidance recommends staying under 30% and under 10% for the strongest scores. So minimum payments protect one part of your credit score, your payment history, while actively damaging another part, your utilization, for years at a time. You're not failing at managing debt by paying the minimum. You're following the system exactly as it was built to be followed. That's the uncomfortable distinction.
Here's how to break this cycle, starting with your very next statement. Move 1. Lock in a fixed payment amount above your current minimum, and never let it drop, even as your balance falls. On that same $5,000 balance at 22%, committing to a fixed $150 a month instead of a shrinking minimum cuts your payoff time from 19 years to roughly 4 years and 4 months. Total interest drops from over $8,000 to around $2,800. That's a savings of more than $5,000 just from refusing to let your payment shrink alongside your balance. Move 2. If you're carrying balances across multiple cards, use the avalanche method. Pay minimums on every card except one. Direct every extra dollar at the card with the highest interest rate. Once that one is gone, roll its entire payment into the next highest rate card. This mathematically minimizes total interest paid across all your debt. Move 3. Look seriously at a balance transfer to a 0% introductory APR card. These offers typically run 15 to 21 months, with a transfer fee of 3 to 5% of the balance moved. On a $5,000 balance, a 3% fee costs $150. Compare that to the thousands you'd pay in interest on the original card over the same period, and the math is rarely close. The critical warning here: confirm whether the offer waives interest entirely or simply defers it. Some cards backcharge all the original interest if you haven't paid the full balance by the time the promotional period ends. Read the terms before you transfer anything. Move 4. And this is the one that prevents you from ever landing back here. Set up an automatic payment for a fixed dollar amount, not a percentage, and set it above whatever the statement minimum happens to be. This removes the decision entirely. You never have the option to quietly slide back down to minimum payments during a tight month, because the automation already committed you to more. The minimum payment box on your statement was never designed to get you out of debt. It was designed to keep the relationship going for as long as the math allows. Now you know exactly how that formula works, which means it no longer gets to work on you by default. Here's the number worth remembering. The average American credit card balance, $6,500 at 24.5% APR, costs over $14,000 in interest and takes over 27 years to clear at minimum payments alone. A $5,000 balance at 22% becomes over $13,000 paid across 19 years the same way. Your 4 moves. Lock in a fixed payment that never shrinks. Use the avalanche method across multiple cards. Seriously evaluate a balance transfer and read the fine print. And automate a fixed amount above the minimum so the decision is never left to a tight month. The minimum payment will always feel like the responsible choice. Now you know it's actually the slowest, most expensive one available to you. If this video changed how you'll read your next credit card statement, hit that subscribe button. Every week on First Million Club, we pull back the curtain on exactly how the financial system works, so the fine print stops working against you.